Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. It is Tuesday, July 27th. We are at our new Tuesday to Friday start time right here on the MLB Closing Time Show, starting today, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. This will be our show time, Tuesdays to Fridays, 4 days a week moving forward. We're going to keep Mondays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We're going to keep Saturdays and Sundays at least for now until football season begins, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and then we'll figure it out at that point. But that's what we're looking at now for the MLB Closing Time Show. Conor Mac with me as always, and our Tuesday guest, Jose Bouquett, ready to break down this Tuesday card. Last night was the night. Last night was the night that there's one night at this time, it's July, August, every year in Major League Baseball where I say, hurry up football season, get here, will you please? Because I just can't take it every single night betting baseball by itself. Last night was one of those nights. You have bullpen implosions galore. Where do I start? Reds blow it. I had the first 5, thankfully, there, but they blow it in the 8th and 9th inning. Cubs tie it. They win in extra innings. We lose the Reds full game. Where else do we go? Oh, yeah, White Sox come all the way back, threatened against the Royals, only to fall short. That's frustrating. There's so many instances last night that just leave you so infuriated. The Tigers battle all the way back, tie the Twins, and they end up losing in extra innings. Blue Jays strand 1 million base runners in the last 3 innings and stuck on 4 runs, and I needed over 4.5 with them, and they end up losing, and their shit-ass bullpen blows it again. You know, this is that was the night last night. Every night there's that one night where I say, I've had it up to here with baseball. I'm ready for football. And I don't want to say that because I love doing this show. I still cap the card every day, but this is my first year betting baseball every single day after the All-Star break. I haven't done this in 5 years, bet MLB after the All-Star break. Usually I bet the first half and I call it a season after that. But I'm betting the second half. Why? Because I had a great baseball season last year and because I'm doing this show every day. So I've decided to be a good soldier, march on and bet and handicap MLB every single day here in the second half of the season post the All-Star break. And I'll be honest, it's not going well right now. But, we just put our bootstraps on and we just keep on rolling ahead. The good news is the Mariners came back. I did have a piece of them last night. So there's a little silver lining that finally one of those meltdowns went my way. Unbelievable comeback by the Seattle Mariners last night to come back and beat the Houston Astros. The red hot Mariners, the 1 game out of a wild card Seattle Mariners. Unbelievable right now what they're doing. We'll get to them in a second. Let's get to this card. We'll start with Miami and Baltimore. We've got a pretty interesting pitching matchup here. Sandy Alcantara for Miami, Spencer Watkins for the Baltimore Orioles. We got the Marlins here, about mid-sized road favorites, minus 140, minus 145. The total, 9 pretty much across the board. This Spencer Watkins kid has been pretty good, and they've even backed him now a couple of times for this Baltimore team. 1.65 ERA for him overall. Really solid numbers. He's been actually the best pitcher, I think. He's actually you probably have to put him ahead of John Means right now because Means has been kind of shaky since he returned from the injury list. So I would say Watkins has probably been their best starter as of late for the Orioles. Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins, 3.23 ERA. He's been pretty good himself. But unfortunately, the Miami team struggling to really hit the ball, and it's been that way for several games, going on a couple of weeks where this offense has really been stuck in mud. I like Baltimore here as a home dog. Under first 5 and full game split, been riding Watkins a bit. He's pitched well. I'm going to go to the Baltimore side here. First 5 full game. I probably lean to the under 5 as well in the first 5 innings, thinking we could get these two pitchers dealing early on. What do you think here, C-Mac, Orioles and Marlins?
Yeah, this one was Spencer Watkins has pitched unreal. I don't think it continues. I mean, I went deep dive into his minor league stats, and I mean, this guy had 7 ERA, 4 ERA, multiple AA, AAA spots, but he's pitched well here up with the club. I initially right away, I'm with you. I would like the first 5 under 5. A lot of that's gone. So if you got a 5 in the morning, I see 4.5. So a lot of places at even money. So I'm kind of off that. That'd be my only play in this one. And the Orioles. Give me them a little bit. Alcantara, I like him better at home. I don't know. The Marlins should be minus 130 here. And both lineups, don't scare me at all. And the Orioles hit lefties a little better, not against righties. Marlins they hit a little bit in that Padres the last few games there. But like I said, they don't scare me. Maybe the full game under 9 as well. If you really don't want to do first 5, since you went from 5 to 4.5, go full game under 9 here.
Yeah, don't look now. The Orioles bullpen's been better lately, and the Marlins bullpen's actually been one of their better parts of their team most of the season. And they've had a good bullpen. They traded away Adam Simber, who's been the one good reliever for the Blue Jays, and that shows you how they could trade him because they've got some depth there. So I definitely think this could be lower scoring. And like I say, I'm a little surprised Miami's favored by this much on the road here. What do you think, Jose? Marlins Orioles?
I'm going to shock my man, not applicable to start off with. I like the under here. You guys made a pretty convincing case for the under, even Connor. You got there right at the end. I think Sandy's a good pitcher. Spencer Watkins has not seen any of these guys yet, so there's no familiarity, which kind of helps out. So I'm leaning towards the under. People in the chat have also mentioned it as well. Both these teams are not great at hitting. I understand Camden Yards is one of those parks where you can get some runs, but I'll take the under 9 here and hold my nose and sweat it out like I always do.
All right, we have the Nationals and the Phillies next up. Eric Fetty, Matt Moore, the pitching matchup. Phillies minus 125 home favorites. Look at this total, 9.5, 10, 10.5, and the 10.5s are disappearing. We're seeing 11. This is like we're looking at a run and a half up in the total here. This is huge money betting this thing over the total. And it kind of reminds me of the Reds and the Cardinals on Sunday. That was the best bet for me on the show. It went over the total, and it opened 9, and it got bet up to 10, and it was a huge move, and just a huge move in terms of a total, and it ended up flying over the total. I think it's the same here. This is a dead nuts over matchup to me. Fetty, I can't trust him. He's been kind of gone backwards in his last few games and his last few starts, in my opinion. And Matt Moore, forget it. I ain't trusting him. He's struggling again. The Nats usually hit lefties pretty good. This and both bullpens we saw last night can't be trusted. The Nats bullpen is sometimes a dog's breakfast. We know the Phillies bullpen is not very reliable. So this has runs, and the wind is blowing out a little bit as well. Citizens Bank Park. Question is, we've lost a lot of value now. It is 11 across the board for the most part. You could have got 9.5, 10 earlier today, but I completely understand why this over's been hit hard throughout the day. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Nationals and Phillies.
Yeah, shout out to Andrew McCutcheon last night for that jack. He really saved my ass. I'd be on the Nats here. Just bums on bum. 2 bum fight here. Moore pitched pretty well until he got rocked 6 runs his last start against the Braves. But he had done all right. I mean, just go about 4 or 5 innings to give up 2 runs. These Nats hit him pretty well. They hit lefties, so that's why the over's pounded. Both team totals are over 5.5. I'm not going to take it. There's probably runs. And if I had to take a side here, I'd roll with Fetty. And that's crazy because I'm a Fetty fader. But if I had to take a side here, it'd be the Nats right around plus 115.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, the Nats, it's you're right. I mean, it's the side I want no part of because I said I'm not betting the Nats when they're about to maybe trade Scherzer. By the way, Scherzer is being linked to the Rays now, is the latest I'm hearing, is that the Rays are really looking hard at Scherzer, and they're looking hard. There's someone else. There's a good hitter that they were looking at. Chris Bryant from the Cubs. Tampa Bay Rays are definitely, like, if they get those 2 guys, they're the favorite to win the AL at that point, and they could win. They could win the whole damn thing because let's not forget they were World Series participant last year, and to me they would be better here with those 2 guys. So keep an eye. The Rays are making money moves, I guess you could say, literally and figuratively. Jose, what do you think here? Washington, Philly.
I'll give you some breaking news. The I think it's what is his name? Alexander Anderson. The Tyler Anderson. There we go. He Pirates, officially is going to the Phillies. Yeah, he's going to the Phillies now. That's official. So shout out to the Phillies. That's why you don't have a market on your Pirates game right now. If you're asking questions. But I would also lean the under here at this point. Now it's at 11 at Pinnacle. At what point? At what point is it going to get too high? So I would lean the under here. I'd probably stay off, of course. But I would like to keep an eye on the Phillies going forward because Dave Dombrowski is going to buy, and maybe this will give them some juice to keep going and try to get that division crown.
Real quick.
All right, yeah.
Just give it Bryce Harper, 6 for 15 with 4 homers. Maybe Jack of the Day type guy.
I should think so with those numbers against Eric Fetty.
Just letting everyone know. Get it.
And Robert Salemo as well in the chat mentioning that he's got an 80 ERA at Citizens Park. Fetty in his career, which is just unsightly how bad that is. So definitely it smells like runs and buckets. But, sometimes it's too easy to say over the total. Sometimes it doesn't go that way. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Brett Anderson, speaking of Pittsburgh, they're next up hosting the Brewers. Cody Ponce is now going to be the starting pitcher, it looks like, here for the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight with Tyler Anderson scratched because of the trade. We'll have to see how this goes. Lines are off the board for the most part. Obviously that's a sign that Pittsburgh is, we know they're rebuilding. They're 38-61. They got no choice but to rebuild and think long term. So it's not surprising to see them deal a lefty, the lefty Tyler Anderson, who's actually had a pretty decent season for them. Ponce is not. Ponce is at 11 ERA this season for the Pittsburgh Pirates, which just isn't very good. Brett Anderson, 4.26 ERA. I don't really like backing him a lot out of this Brewers rotation. He's the least I'm interested in betting on. But the Pirates, they've been feeble at times against lefty pitching. So that's the one thing that does concern me here. It's just a game I didn't want any part of before. I probably still don't want any part of it now. Connor, any thoughts, Brewers, Pirates?
Yeah, I'm off. I mean, I like the Brewers a little bit, and I like the under. I mean, I think they traded their best bat, obviously, to the Padres, Frazier. So a lot of young guys. I mean, they still have Newman, Hayes. Not much in that lineup. And, yeah, I was looking under. I still lean the under, but with Ponce now, I can't endorse it. It would just be a lean. So that's all I have in this one. I still roll with the Brewers. So I'm sure they're going to be bigger favorites. I thought there was a little bit of a discount at around -120, but it'll probably be higher now once we get the line out.
All right, Jose, anything for you, Milwaukee Pitt?
Yeah, I'm off this game. Pitching change, high price. I'm off.
All right, Blue Jays and Red Sox. Jose may not be off this one with his Red Sox involved. Garrett Richards on the mound for the Red Sox. Robbie Ray for the Jays. Toronto -130, road chalk at Fenway, 11 the total. Robbie Ray had a little bit of a rougher start in his last start. It was really the first trouble that he's had in a very long time. He's been the best Blue Jays pitcher start to finish this season for Toronto. But I think I'm out of the running when it comes to the Jays. I certainly would only back Toronto here with Ray. Ray I trust a lot more than Richards, but for some reason Boston's got the Jays number lately. I mean, I know a couple series ago in Boston, the Blue Jays got the better of it, but Boston, after the All-Star break, Boston swept 2 games in Buffalo against the Jays. They come back to beat the Jays thanks to a Alex Verdugo 2-run home run last night in the 8th inning against that Jays bullpen, which clearly still hasn't solved all their issues. They're just finding ways to win, and the Jays are not finding ways to win. It's a big difference right now in confidence level for these two teams. So it's definitely a massive starting pitching edge, and well, maybe not massive, but a solid starting pitching edge for Toronto with Ray over Richards. But you're not getting a bargain here. We're talking about -130 on the road here with Toronto, and who's the better team? It's Boston. So I lean Jays, but boy, that value just doesn't seem to be there. In my opinion, I would look Jays first 5 full game, but can't say I love the value. Can't say I love the price. Anything for you, Conor Mac, Blue Jays, Red Sox?
Yeah, it's just a lean for me. I would not be on the Blue Jays. I know I just couldn't back the Jays right now with this number with Robbie Ray. He saw what the Red Sox did to him last time out. Kike Hernandez, he's got 5 homers off him. We had him last week. Hunter Renfroe, we saw him. Played against them when they were on the Dodgers and Padres when he was on the D-backs. You got to bet Richards, and he got touched finally. He had a couple good innings in that start, and then he gave up a few homers. The Jays, there should be runs here, but another 11. So you got to get over that 11. That's the number here for overs. So, but I would go with the Red Sox. They've had the late inning magic. They can get to this Blue Jays bullpen. So if I were to go full game, I'd take the plus money with the Red Sox. And team total, right. It's -140 over 4.5. Lean that way. It's just high juice for the Red Sox.
Absolutely. Last start, by the way, for Richards was July 9th. So that's what worries me too. That's why I don't think he's going to have a good night tonight, because he's been off for a while. That's a little bit of a concern for me. That bothers me here that he's going to end it. The Jays still have a very capable lineup. They kind of been sketchy lately, but still a lineup that's capable of hitting a pitcher that may not be on top of his game. We'll have to see if that's the case. But again, I could see runs because Ray sometimes gives up the odd home run, and he's capable of doing that at Fenway. We know Richards could get hit a little bit tonight, but man, 11. Again, you're not getting bargains with overs, I find, these days. They're really, really, really pricing you out of range with so many of these games if you like overs. Jose, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, shockingly enough, I know, Ian, you'll be surprised. I'm taking the Red Sox today as the dogs. I understand the starting pitching matchup. It leans towards the Jays, but the Red Sox have the better bullpen. And I would say the offense is a wash, if not lean towards the Red Sox, honestly. I mean, but I would probably take Red Sox full game as well with you, Connor. Plus 126 is nice, but player prop wise, it's Vladdy. Vladdy has a you're going to be shocked to hear this, a 2,000 OPS against Garrett Richards. So give me a Vladdy Jack of the day and Vladdy over 1.5 bases today too. It's a plus money price right now on Pinnacle. It is Vladimir Guerrero over 2.5 bases. I'm sorry, it's plus 111, and I like that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are a couple of, you mentioned it, that have done some significant work done against Garrett Richards in the past for this Blue Jays team. And of course, Vladdy with his incredible numbers, really 6 for 9 and a home run against him in the past, 6 for 11 for Teoscar and a home run against Richards as well. So some pretty good numbers there. St. Louis, Cleveland. We've got Adam Wainwright, Cal Quantrill, the pitching matchup. Cards slightly favored on the road here, minus 110, 9.5 the total across the board. Don't really have a strong feel for this. Wainwright on the road, don't love it. Quantrill has been better, actually, his last couple starts. Quantrill, he's pitched a little bit better. But I don't have a strong take on either side here in this one. The total, 9.5. These are two lineups I sometimes get a little leery of betting an over in this range, 9.5 with these two lineups. Not exactly consistent one game to the next. We'll have to wait and see. I'd lean Cleveland if I had to, because Quantrill has been good. He's given up just a run in each of his last 2 starts, so he's definitely been a lot better. We know Wainwright's not as effective away from Busch Stadium, so for me it would be a slight lean to Cleveland, but not a game I'm going to get involved with either side or total. Anything for you, C-Mac here, Cardinals and the Cleveland baseball team?
Yeah, looks like Jose Ramirez is back in the lineup, but still, it's all about Wainwright here. Quantrill, I haven't bet it yet, and I think I want to go first 5 with the 5 in full game, 9.5 on the under here. I like the first 5 under. Quantrill, let's see what he can do. Cardinals broke out and had a bunch of runs in the Red Series there, so we'll see if they can continue it. And I like the Cardinals a little bit here at minus 110. So I lean the Cardinals and give me the first 5 under 5. Minus 105.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be Mr. Pass on any game because I usually like to give you something on each game, but I'm tightening the belt now moving forward. We're not spraying the board and betting 9 or 10 games like we did earlier in the season. We're trying to pick 4 or 5 good spots now moving forward. These are the dog days of the baseball betting season. It gets tricky. It gets tough. At least for me, it does. That's why I haven't bet baseball second half until this year, because I know this is the tough time of the year for me. So I'm looking for 4 or 5 good spots, 4 or 5 good bets. If I find them, I'm more than happy. So if I say pass on a certain game, it's no great loss in my life to say that. Jose, what do you think here? St. Louis, Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm off this game. Lean towards the first 5 under with Connor too. But yeah, this is kind of a rough game too. You got to watch and like baseball to watch it. I mean, if the one side you've got the Cleveland Guardians with Cal Quantrill, who I don't feel great about. Their offense isn't great. Jose Ramirez is a great guy, but he's one guy we obviously don't know. We know how that far gets you, but yeah, I'm off this game. It's just not a fun game.
All right, next up, we've got the Atlanta Braves, New York Mets at Citi Field. Charlie Oldman Morton for the Braves, although he's pitched a little bit better lately, and Jared Eichhoff for the New York Mets. Your pitching matchup here. Atlanta minus 150, road favorites, total 8 across the. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's not 8. That's 9 now. Holy shit. I mean, this line just basically went out like half an hour ago when they announced that Eichhoff was going to be the starter for the Mets, and it's 9. I bet it at 8 this total. It's 9 now. Holy shit. Wow. So I still like the over. I hate that you've lost a run because I jumped in right away when I saw the line get posted. It was 8 minus 115 to the over. But I still would only look that way. I mean, I think Morton is facing the Mets again in a short turnaround, so I think they'll have some better success against him. And Eichhoff's just not very good. He was lit up in his last start. He's never been someone I've been looking to bet, not someone I've been looking to fade for the most part, Eichhoff. And I would be looking to do more of the same here. By the way, warm night in New York in Citi Field. Looks like we're going to have game time temps in the 88 degrees Fahrenheit range and wind blowing straight out. Not left to right, straight out to center field, 11 miles per hour tonight at Citi Field. So I like over the total here, Braves and Mets. I think we'll see some runs. Connor, what do you think here, Atlanta, New York Mets?
Yeah, I want nothing to do with this one. Now it's up to 9. I'd look under. These teams just can't score. So I wouldn't take if I were 9, I'd look under. I know the wind's blowing out. It was a few times yesterday. I would just stay away. But I know Morton's pitched well. Braves won. But no way. This Braves team, the lay 150. I think the dog here is the Mets. I know Eichhoff, you got to get through him. And their bullpen was taxed. So it's tough. But I think they'll be a little bit pissed off. Maybe the bats wake up, like you said, seeing Morton. They just saw him a few days ago. So I kind of lean to the Mets here as home dogs plus 140.
All right, leaning toward that. I agree with that. I mean, that's anytime. I know Eichhoff he's not good at all, but it's factored into the price. I mean, it's kind of insane that Atlanta, a much inferior team, is minus 150 or so on the road here. It's not like Morton's been better lately, but Morton's still not one of those guys I like as a road chalk in this price range. That's for sure. Jose, anything for you here, Braves and Mets?
Yeah, I Pinnacle still at 8.5. So if you can get those, get the unders. But otherwise, I'd stay off this game. It'll be an interesting game to watch. Like I said, I mean the Phillies, or not the Phillies, the Braves are also in that range too, and they're buying. I mean, they bought Jock Peterson. They said they're still going to be active. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. They need to win games to stay in it. So they're hungry. But I mean, the price reflects it too. So high price.
All right, good stuff there. Next up, we've got the Yankees and speaking of good stuff, this should be interesting. Yankees and Rays. Jordan Montgomery, the lefty for the Yankees. Shane McClanahan, the lefty for the Rays. Battle of Southpaws. Tampa Bay minus 145. Home favorites in this game. We got a total of 7.5, pretty much across the board here in this one. Totals come down quite a bit, 8.5 down to 7.5 here. I think, with this Rays team, they are going to be a better lineup with Cruz in it. I'm not saying bet this over, but I'm not looking to bet. I think Tampa has some value to the over in the days and weeks ahead, because I think they're going to be a better offensive team. And if they add Bryant or they add another bat, which I think they're looking to do, they could be even better offensively moving forward. Question is, can they hit Jordan Montgomery tonight, who has actually been better of late, 2.95 ERA in his last 3 starts. Pretty much been bad luck for him that the Yankees didn't win any of those games. They either blew the game or they just didn't score enough runs for him. Lack of run support, that's been an issue. He's also on an 0-5 slide. The Yankees, I should say, 0-5 in Montgomery's last 5 starts. So it's not like he's pitched terrible. He's given up 3 runs or less in all 5 of those recent starts, but just not winning because they've either blown the lead or they haven't hit for him. Not giving him run support. He has pitched the Rays pretty decently the last couple times he's faced them. May and June, 1 run, 6 innings, 3 runs, 6.1 innings in those 2 games. And the Yankees won both of those games. And the Yankees are 4-1 in Montgomery's last 5 starts against the Rays. So it's one of those games where I don't want to step in Tampa's way. I just don't. But they're laying a moderate number. McClanahan has been all right, but he's not been phenomenal by any stretch of the imagination here for the Rays. We'll see how he fares here against the Yankees, but he faced them last month. He didn't necessarily pitch that great. 4 runs, 5 hits, lasted only 3.1 innings against the Yankees. So it's one of those games where I like to back Tampa Bay right now, just not in this matchup and not at this price. So it's a pass for me. Conor Mac, what about you, Yankees and Rays?
Yeah, I think the price is just a little bit too high to back the Rays here. I think their lineup will be better with Cruz, and they might get another piece. And he's pitched good his last 2 starts. And Montgomery had a good start against Boston. But this is what I think Montgomery, this guy goes 6 innings, gives up 3 runs. 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3. That's just like what he does. I'd lean a little bit that it's 7.5 towards the over here. And I'd lean the Yankees if I had to bet a side, just to lean. I'm going to stay away from this game. I just don't. You mentioned it. Montgomery, his starts in Tampa, they won the Yankees. You're getting a plus price. I just don't like anything in this one. So, I'm off.
So that's what I feel too, because this Yankees team finds ways to lose, and I don't like backing teams that find ways to lose. And that's exactly what they're doing right now, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. That's exactly what they're doing right now, this Yankees team. Look at Sunday. How pathetic was that by the New York Yankees on Sunday? They better hope that day off did them good to clear their head, because that's a brutal loss. And they've had a bunch of those. The Astros lost when they came back and Altuve walked them off a few weeks ago. You go on down the list, they've had a bunch of these just awful losses. And if they miss the playoffs and they fall short of the wild card, they can blame losses like that for why they didn't get there. Jose, what do you think here? Yankees and Rays.
Well, Ian, I can give you the spoiler now. They're not making the playoffs. There's no fucking chance. I can tell you that. They're barely better than the Blue Jays. So that's not going to happen, one. Secondly, I have no idea how people are betting the Yankees the last couple of weeks. It is treacherous trying to bet this Yankees squad. The only time that I would bet this Yankees squad is when I think they have their best pitcher on the mound. And guess what? Their best pitcher as of late has been Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery is the only pitcher on the Yankees that I am even slightly worried about. I mean, we've talked about Garrett Cole and his struggles, but their Yankees are never a favorable price that you want to bet on them when Cole's on the mound. He's been an underdog like once this year, and that was against the Red Sox. And I told everyone to bet the Red Sox, and the Red Sox won that game pretty comfortably. So I would lean first 5 -1/2 for the Yankees. You can get -1/2 at +171. +1/2 is at -112. I like either of those, but you know me, I'd rather get the big plus money price. Shoot for the Yankees early, but you just can't. You cannot bet them full game. You just can't. Their bullpen's shaky. They're like you said, inventing new ways to lose games.
Well, the bullpen's shaky because they have no faith, none, zero, no confidence whatsoever in their closer right now, Aroldis Chapman. They think he's a mental midget. He's fucked up in the head. He's struggling with his confidence right now. And you know, they just have no confidence in him. They're not even going to him now in 9th innings. They're working that poor guy Chad Green so hard that he's now not as effective and not as good as he used to be. They just have no answers right now. Britton can't trust him to stay healthy half the time. Loaiza's been injured in and out. So they've got all kinds of issues right now with that Yankees bullpen. And when you have no faith in your closer, and he's been so bad and he's struggling so much for this team, it's just a reverberating domino effect for the rest of the bullpen. You can't pitch your closer. Yeah, your bullpen's going to suck a lot more because then everybody's outside their roles that they're comfortable in, outside their roles that they're accustomed to. And that's when bullpens start to suffer. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now from this Yankee bullpen. No faith in the closer, and it's having a domino effect on the entire bullpen group. Arizona and Texas right now. We've got Taylor Widener for the Diamondbacks, Dane Dunning for the Texas Rangers. How about the Texas Rangers favored? This losing streak that seems like it's gone on forever for this Texas team, and here they are -140 in spite of that as home favorites, 8.5 the total. You need your head examined if you think I'm laying $1.40 with Texas. There's just no way that's happening. No way in any planet am I doing that. But at the same point in time, Taylor Widener in Arizona on the road, who of course been terrible on the road all season. It's not like I'm rushing to back them here. And Widener got roughed up a little in his last start. To be honest with you, Texas doesn't win this game. I don't know when their next win is going to be quite honest with you, because this is probably one of their best chances to win a baseball game in a very long time. I still can't lay this price, though, for them to win it. I want no part of this. None at all. Easy pass. Conor Mac, how about you? Arizona, Texas.
Yeah, I don't love this one either, but you're right. There is no chance in hell Dane Dunning and the Rangers. This team is pathetic. I mean, they've scored like 2 runs in 60 innings. There's just no freaking way. It'd be D-backs, take the plus money here. Don't look at the other side. I think Widener's decent here. Maybe a first 5 under 4.5. These teams don't see each other, and they both can't hit. I mean, D-backs hit lefties decent, but I don't know about righties. In one spot, Dunning's been pretty good is at home, and I guess that's why they think he's the favorite here. I mean, 2 shitty teams. So I lean under in this one. Full game or first 5 under 4.5.
Yeah, worst favorite today, says Dennis. Rangers or Twins? That's a really good. No, it's the Rangers for sure. At least the Twins have won some ball games this year, and they won last night. And Maeda's been better late. We'll get to that in a second. Maeda's at least been better lately, and he's pitched well against the Tigers. I can see the Twins being a relatively moderate to larger favorite today, a little bit more than yesterday. But this Texas being minus 140 against anybody right now with the way they've gone, that's the worst favorite in my opinion. If I had to answer that question. Jose, what about you? Arizona, Texas.
I really don't understand why it's a minus 140, honestly, and I don't. It makes me want to take like something different and like something. The Rangers are probably going to win this game. It seems like because I don't know why they'd be that minus 140. It always almost make me want to take like the minus 1.5 at plus 150. Maybe
there you go.
Maybe you get the job.
Don't lay
done.
140.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Don't lay 140.
No chance. If you like it's like you said, Ian, this is probably going to be like their only win in a while. The books apparently think they're going to win, so why don't you take the minus 1.5? And if you lose, then at least you're not losing all that juice too. You get the 150. So yeah, it'd be that, but we'll see.
Shout out to Sharpie. This is his K prop. Is Taylor Widener. I think it's 4.5. I'm not positive on that.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Okay. Strike out a shit ton. So that seems low for a team that strikes out a lot lately. That is Texas, no question. By the way, hit the like button, everybody in the chat. We appreciate it. It helps us out significantly, especially today. This is our first MLB closing time show and our new time slot for Tuesdays through Fridays. Moving forward, we'll be on at this time, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Your luck.
1 p.m. Pacific. I actually like this. It's kind of nice doing this show later in the day. It's nice to have confirmed lineups in a few of these games, actually, as of right now. At least we know who's in and who's out for sure, which we don't always know when we do the show. When we did the show, I should say, at 1 p.m. Eastern, or when we do it on weekends. So good stuff. Great to have everyone in the chat with us. So hit that like button. We appreciate it. And tell your friends that the show is now 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The MLB closing time show. Moving on down the card, Cincinnati Reds, Chicago Cubs, Vladimir Gutierrez for the Reds, Adbert Alzolay for the Cubs. Cubbies here, big favorites here, minus 190 is what we're looking at here. The total 10.5 here. I'm tempted. Although I did split at least. It's not like I lost money with Cincy last night. I had the first 5, they got it done, but I had the full game as well, and they lost. I'm tempted by the Reds here. I mean, this is just a sick price. And I'm not saying sick in a good way, sick in a ill way, that the Chicago Cubs are minus 190 right now against anybody. I know they're better at home, and Alzolay's been pretty decent, and Vlad Gutierrez kind of got roughed up in his last start. I get all of that, but this price is just astronomical. I'm tempted by the Reds, but I'm probably not going to back them. I definitely don't like the form that Gutierrez is trending in for the Reds. That does worry me a little bit. And look, Cubs found a way last night. Give them credit for that. Lean Reds at this price. I would say right now, though, that I'm going to stay off it. I liked it better yesterday with Miley. I don't like it as much today with Gutierrez. And like I say, his recent form on the mound has been a little bit spotty for my liking. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Reds, Cubs?
Just too big a number with the Cubs. Minus 175, just too big. And then if you want to take a run line or team total, I know the wind's blowing out. Can this get over again? I'm sure, but I don't want to take the 10.5. Alzolay, though, he's 3-2, 4-3, 4-3. That's what he's given up. I could see the Reds get that. If I were to take a first 5, I can't go full. I still think Reds bullpen's been a bit better, but they're still bad. And the Cubs, I think, are a better bullpen in the end. I go Reds first 5 plus 155. And maybe look at their team total. They've shit on me, though. Castellanos is out of the lineup. Votto, 3 for 4, though, off this guy. He had the jack yesterday with a homer. Kind of the lone guy with success here off Alzolay.
How about my resurgent countryman, fellow Canadian, Joey Votto? Absolutely. He's been hitting very well lately. I don't know where this came from, but he's been on fire at the plate the last couple of weeks. Showing vintage shades of the old vintage Joey Votto back in his heyday. Good sign for the Reds, especially as you mentioned, Castellanos. Winker's kind of tailed off lately. There's been a bunch of guys that struggling at the plate, and Votto's picked up the slack lately. Jose, what do you think here, Reds and Cubs?
Ian, I'm going to ask you a question I'll leave you thinking on while I talk about this. Best Canadian baseball player, is it Joey Votto ever? But I think I would also go with the Reds too here. It doesn't make sense why the Cubs are this price. They're selling. We hear the rumors all the time. Red Sox are in on Anthony Rizzo. Craig Kimbrell's as good as gone. But I honestly I don't expect to see both these starters in very long. I truly think that we're going to see an ejection in this game from, and it's probably going to be Gutierrez or Homie. I mean, he's getting sent out there, and I'd be pretty surprised if Javi Baez is not brushed back or something. I think we get your benches clearing stuff. So I would lean towards an over in this game. You know, emotions running high. I could see something going on like that because whenever these Reds and Cubs play, it's really tense. You know, Baez and Amir Garrett are always at each other's necks. We saw it last night. That was very brazen. So I think we'll see some. I'll see at least one ejection today. If I had to put a number on, I would say 1.5 is the over under.
Yeah, I mean, I like the over initially. Don't get me wrong, 9.5, and I know it's Wrigley Field tonight. The wind is looks like it's blowing out a little bit, not a hard wind, but a little bit out to right center field. But now it's just been a huge move. I'm seeing 10.5 with it now, so it's really gone up there, full run. I'd still lean that way, 10.5, but boy, it's getting up there. I agree. There could be some bad blood tonight. We're going to have to wait and see. As Neil Sedaka once said, bad blood is taking you for a ride. You could be doing that tonight with the Cubs and the Reds. Oh, to answer your question, by the way, about the best Canadian players, Larry Walker, in my mind. Back
Larry Walker.
Larry Walker, or you could say, before he got derailed by injuries, you could make a case that he was going to be the best ever. Justin Morneau. As well for the Minnesota Twins.
That's a good one.
Unfortunately, a lot of injuries. You can't put him in that category anymore because of the injuries, and his career was cut short a little bit. But definitely early in his career, he was a great ball player. Could do it all. Defend well. Great hitter. Very good at the plate. Good eye. Very patient. Didn't swing at bad pitches very often.
Former MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. Morneau, Larry Walker.
I don't think Votto's won an MVP, so yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Votto. Votto again early in his career, he was making a case. I'm going to be one of the best Canadians ever, but you can't have the many years that he's had the last few, where he's just been gone in the tank and struggled. Still, he's had a nice carear. There's no question.
Yeah, if he would have left Cincinnati, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That might have aided him a little bit, but in terms of best ever, no. The last couple of years have pretty much taken him out of that discussion. All right, the White Sox and the Royals. We've got Dylan Cease for the White Sox, Brad Keller for the Royals. White Sox here -145 to -150 road favorites, 9.5 the total. I like runs in this game. I do. Last night was a low-scoring game. I was kind of thinking that game could stay under. I think it's going to be the opposite tonight. Dylan Cease is not good on the road. We've talked about that. His form overall hasn't been as sharp for about a month and a half, but on the road, 6.28 ERA for him in 10 road starts for Cease this season. That's not good. White Sox bullpen continues to kind of be disappointing. We know the Royals bullpen, it's actually been better lately, the Royals bullpen, but you're not going to get length out of Keller, which means you're going to see a lot of middle relief for Kansas City, and that's the part of their bullpen that is not good at all. And Keller, what can we say? He's been very bad this season, especially in this ballpark. I've said this with Connor, previous shows many a time. His worst performances this year have been at home, have been right here at Kauffman Stadium. He has a 7.2 ERA in his home starts this season. Ugly numbers all around here for Brad Keller. So I like runs. And this total is reasonable. This isn't 10.5. This isn't 11 like some of those other games. And yet I think this game's got every chance to go over, if not more than some of the other games. And it's only 9.5 the total in this game. So I think this is a good value here over the total. White Sox and Royals over 9.5 for me. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Chicago, KC.
This is a difficult one. I don't want the White Sox and Cease. He hasn't pitched well lately. It's a pass for me, but I'd probably be on the Royals again here. Keller's had 3 good starts. Can he put in another one? We'll see. Some of these guys don't have great numbers off off him. Garcia's okay, 9 for 26. Makata 9 for 32 with a couple homers, but everyone else doesn't have good numbers. I was looking at Guy Soler, who's hit all those home runs. He's 0 for 11 off Cease. There's a few guys that have hit him for the Royals. Perez is 3 for 7. I'd look over too at 9.5. I think because both bullpens are very good. The White Sox have been better lately, but I don't trust the Royals. It's a pass for me. I'd take the home dog or leave it alone.
Yeah, and then when you look at these the numbers, 7-3 in the road starts this year to the over for Cease, 5-4 to the over the home starts for Keller. So you combine the two, you're looking at 12-7 over subset there, supporting you for the over in this game. In this one, we'll have to wait. Keller has been better. I will give him that. We're going to ease off the Helen Keller references for him for a little bit. He has been better in his last 3 starts, but in this ballpark, he's been nothing short of lousy. You know, when you have a 7.2 ERA in your home ballpark, you know, you've clearly got issues pitching in this venue. And definitely Keller's had that throughout the course of the season here. But as far as the side goes, I'm kind of with you, Connor. The White Sox are not exactly a team you rely on the road. Kansas City's feeling it a little bit right now. I know sweeping Detroit's not saying a ton, but to win yesterday with the first game of this series against the White Sox and shut that offense down like Minor of all people did. Very, very impressive. So from a side perspective, there's some momentum for the Royals right now. So it's hard to go against that, especially when you're talking about Chicago here laying a moderate price in this game on the road. What do you think here in this one, Jose, White Sox and Royals?
I'm on the Royals as well. I'm on the Royals first 5. I was thinking about doing the same thing I was with the Yankees. Royals first 5 plus a half, minus 109 I like it, and then minus a half, minus 1 or plus 155 is good. I also like Royals first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus 114. Dylan Cease, like you said, not good on the road. I think the Royals can touch them up a bit. 2.5 low number and at a good plus money price. I think that's the one I would go with over all of them, but I do like the Royals first 5 plus a half as well.
All right, next up, we've got the Detroit Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. Tyler Alexander, Kenta Maeda on the mound here in this one. No, it's not. Yeah, it is Tyler Alexander still. I thought there was a change for a minute. No. Minnesota minus 195, home favorites, 9 the total in this one. Tigers back in a little bit of a losing skid the last few games, swept by the Royals, lose last night against the Twins. Maeda's pitched better lately. Maeda's really pitched good against the Tigers as well in recent starts against them. So it's just one of those games. I'm going to stay off Detroit for a bit. I had a nice little run back in them with Big Show's boys here, the Detroit Tigers, but they've kind of fallen back a little bit here these last few games. And Tyler Alexander, who's actually not bad in his last start, just don't know if I want to get involved here with Detroit. They're having a tough time. Minnesota, Maeda back on the beam, pitching better. I'm certainly not laying the price with Minnesota either, but just a game I'm going to end up staying away. Detroit, Minnesota, Connor, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to stay away as well. I wouldn't take Maeda at this price. There's just no way. I mean, the guys that needed to hit, Josh Donaldson, I think he went 3 for 3, he had a home run last night, a few RBIs. I mean, if he doesn't hit, I think it's tough sledding for the Twins. So I'd only look to the big money in the Tigers. Maybe the Tigers team total over 3.5. Maeda's pitched better, like you said. It's a game I'm off.
I mean, it's a really patchy lineup, let's be honest. I mean, I like Polanco, Donaldson's good, Garver and Kepler, Sano capable, but then you get to the bottom 3 of that Twins lineup. You got Williams, Astudillo, you've got Gilberto Celestino, and you've got Andrelton Simmons, who's never been able to hit. Good defensive player, but never been able to hit a lick. I mean, that's not a good 7, 8, 9 in that Twins lineup, not one bit. Jose, what do you think here, Tigers and Twins?
Yeah, I'm off this game completely. Off of it completely. I hope Big Show's boys get the dub, though. But Kenta Maeda is a great pitcher. I just saw a tweet that Aaron Judge is confirmed in the lineup and is starting in right field today. So it makes me feel even better about Yankees' first 5 minus a half.
Yeah, the Yankee lineup was not confirmed as of a few minutes ago when we talked that game. So we're waiting for the update. But he was expected. He was in the expected lineup we can tell you he will be in the confirmed lineup for the New York Yankees tonight. All right, it is seventh inning stretch time. There we go. Oh, man, this feels good. This is my favorite part of the show. I get to stretch a little bit. Oh, you feel better every time you do that. But seventh inning stretch time before we get to the 4 late West Coast games on the schedule. So let's say hello to Olu, Raymond Reddington, Not Applicable, Cheshire Cat, Benjamin Mills, great turn cash action bets, Real Deal Prime, Dennis Trusty, Razor Sharp, Brian Watson, 586 Soldier, outstanding having Ski Profit, our Monday guest, joining us in the chat today. Good stuff, Brian Watson. Thanks to Abel Alvarez, John Roy. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us here on this Tuesday edition of the show. We appreciate the support. Hit the like button again. Reminder, Elliot V. And Elliot V deserves props. He was on the Twins yesterday when we all like the Tigers. So props. Salute.
Was he on them regular or run line though?
He was on the just money line yesterday with them.
I thought he was on run line.
Just on the, okay. Were you on? Hey, Elliot, were you on money line or run line? Don't.
I don't know. I just thought.
No. I hope you're on money line, but yeah, if you were, you would have won because they won by exactly one. It's not like the Tigers were dead wrong side. They came back and tied that game, and then the Twins ended up winning late. But yeah, Jake Kaiser, as always, great supporter. Definitely a good job. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Let's move on. We got the Rockies and the Angels, which means it's once again the Shohei Ohtani show tonight. Angels minus 140, home favorites in this game. Total 9. We've got Austin Gomber and Jose Suarez, battle of lefties here in this one. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. But Angels, to me, I don't think much of this guy, Jose Suarez, in terms of this Angels team. He's been making spot starts. He's done okay so far in terms of 7 runs and 13 innings of work, 3.48 ERA on the road here. We'll see how he goes. Gomber on the other side for the Rockies. We'll have to wait and see, but he just came back from injury. At this point, I don't like the way he pitches on the road compared to at home. He's been good at home, but on the road, 5.06 ERA for Austin Gomber away from Coors Field. It's kind of interesting. He's pitched well in Denver, which is as difficult a place to pitch as you can imagine. And yet on the road, he's really, really struggled this season on the road for the Rockies. So we'll have to wait and see. They mash lefties, the Angels, though. Second in the major leagues in OPS against lefties. They're averaging, almost 5 runs per game lately against lefties. It's a good offensive matchup for them against Gomber, who struggled on the road. Angels are hitting lefties right now. I would only look Angels. I just don't love laying a $140 with Suarez, who's nothing special in my mind. Maybe an over could get there tonight with these two. Total's only 9. It's a cheaper number compared to some of these other venues. I could see the Angels scoring a bunch, and I could see the Rockies putting up a few against Suarez and that Angel bullpen as well. So I don't think they'll get completely shut out. I think Angels win. I could see something like, 6-4, 7-3, something like that maybe for the Angels. But I think we could get over the 9. What do you think here, Conor Mac, Rockies and Angels?
Yeah, I lean over here. When I think the Angels bullpen, Suarez and them, I think runs, and I think the Rockies and the Angels get some off Gomber. One thing was early on in the year, Gomber got tattooed on the road. His last start in Miami, 5 innings, 1 run. Pittsburgh, 4 innings, 2. The Mets, 8 innings, 2 runs. So he's been better on the road, but he's really been good at home. I think the Angels get some, though, off him. I lean over. I haven't bet it yet. It's just a lean. But, yeah, I lean over in this one. Some of these interleague matchups can stay under. That's why I'm a little bit tentative, but at 9, the wind's blowing out, I lean that way.
I like that, Connor. I'd probably go that way too, honestly. But I think this is a stay off spot for me. It's interleague games are weird to begin with, and then we're putting the Rockies and Angels, 2 weird teams to individually. Shohei coming off of a good start as well. I would maybe lean towards the Rockies, but just the price isn't appealing to me. So ultimately this is a stay off for me.
Yeah, there you go, Benjamin Mills. He'll give up 6 or 0.
Basically, yeah. That's the Austin Gomber experience.
Yeah, there's highs and lows. There's no in betweens. That's absolutely exactly right with Austin Gomber. Big series here. San Francisco Giants, LA Dodgers. Remember, they met at Dodger Stadium last week in a big important series, and now they meet in the Bay Area in San Francisco. Another key series with the Dodgers right on the behind of the Giants for first in the NL West. Julio Urias on the mound for the Dodgers. Logan Webb for the San Francisco Giants. We've got the Dodgers here, minus 120 road favorites, 8.5 the total. Look, I'll say this about this game. This is a spot where you got to expect the Dodgers to really want to bring it. Okay, the way they pissed away that series the first time last week, those 2 losses, awful, bitter, heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, kicking the nuts defeats to the Giants in back-to-back games. You got to think they're coming out breathing fire tonight in this start of this series against the Giants. But the fact remains, the Giants are a home underdog. Look at the price. It's hard to want to not take that, with the San Francisco Giants. This team just continues to be undervalued, underpriced. They're 31-15 at home this year. I mean, I know they lost 2 or 3 from Pittsburgh, and I think they just kind of fell flat the first couple of games in that series. Then they woke up and avoided the sweep. But they get up to play the Dodgers. They do, the San Francisco team. And as we know, they took 3 or 4 from the Dodgers. I know the Dodgers are going to be pissed off. Revenge. But you're talking about the Giants with a 16 games above 500 home record, a home underdog in this game. How is that right? How is that justifiable with what this Giants team has done all season long? A home underdog, and they're this record that they've got. What's their record? 62-37, 31-15 at home, and they're a home dog. What is up? Talk about disrespect. That's worse disrespect than the Vegas Golden Knights trading Fleury earlier today and not telling them before they traded him. This is even worse disrespect what they're doing here with this Giants team. So the only hesitancy I have is the Dodgers are going to come out, I think, firing here. But Urias, he's been pretty good for the most part in 4 of his last 5 starts. I don't deny him that. And he shut down the Giants last week when he faced them at Dodger Stadium. 1 run, 7 innings. There's no question about that. But he also got roughed up by the Giants the time before that. So he gave up 7 runs in 5 innings. So which Julio Urias is it going to be tonight against the Giants? And what I can say about Logan Webb is this guy is spinning a web of confusion and a web of befuddlement over the opposing hitters right now for this Giants team. He's been good. He really has. I mean, you look at his starts going back to early May, 2 runs allowed, shutout over the Reds, 2 runs against the Dodgers in May 29th in 5 innings, shutout the Nationals, 1 run against the Cardinals, 2 runs against the Dodgers last week. And they're 6-0, the Giants, in Logan Webb's last 6 starts. So I understand the Dodgers are chomping at the bit. There was an ugly end to that series, blowing those 2 games late. They're desperate to try to finally beat this San Francisco team that they're trailing in the division. But I can't justify backing the Dodgers at this price. As road chalk against a Giants team that's got a 62-win season on their resume, 31-15 home record, I absolutely cannot go against San Francisco at this price. So for me, it's Giants or pass at this price. What do you think here, Conor Mac? Dodgers, Giants?
Shout out to our razor sharp picks. This is his gambler's first glance. It's tough to say. I mean, as a Dodger fan, this is the Giants here for me. It's Giants or pass. Webb's pitched really well. This will be Urias' 4th start against the Giants. 2 good ones, 6 innings, 2 runs. He gave up at home 5 innings, 7 runs, 6 earned. And then this is the big one. July 21st, he had 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned. They got 1 quick, and he pitched well. But I can't that's the only thing that scares me, because I lean under here in this game. I like first 5. I like the full game a little bit at 8.5. So I don't know how I want to break it up, but I'm on the under. And, yep, I'd be on the Giants with Webb. He's pitched well lately. It should be a playoff atmosphere, I think. So runs will be a premium. So that's why I lean under.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to me with this home record of the Giants, and they're home underdogs, and 62-37 and a 31-15 home record, and this team is a dog at home. Wow. I mean, they've been underpriced all season pretty much, and that's why they're one of the league leaders in profitability this year in Major League Baseball. Jose, what do you think here? Dodgers, Giants?
You guys basically made the case. I'm on the Giants too. This is a similar spot to what I thought my Red Sox and the Blue Jays were at. I mean, the Dodgers are a good team, obviously, but I think it is mainly because the starting pitchers that you see, the Dodgers are the favorite here. If you take off the starting pitchers, look at these records, you would say that these Giants would be favored, obviously. So I'm leaning towards the Giants. They've got the better value. If the Dodgers win, I wouldn't feel bad about losing this bet. The Giants have been just disrespected all year. And I wonder at what point are we as a collective public in Vegas going to start taking the Giants seriously?
Yeah, I mean, the Giants are for real, folks. I don't know what more I can say. I mean, people are just waiting for them to fall apart and crumble and all this nonsense. No, they've got their lineup is not got a lot of big names outside of Yastrzemski, but Posey's having to turn back the clock season. Aaron Ruff is hitting the tar out of the ball right now. Solano's been good. Slater's been good. Wilmer Flores has really picked it up lately. I mean, it's a lineup that just gives you good at bats. I know they don't have the superstar names on that Giants lineup, but look what they've done. They have been really resilient, resourceful this year. They got lots of good karma. And this is, by the way, going to be the first Giants-Dodgers series back from a bout with cancer for their longtime play-by-play voice on television, Dwayne Kuiper, for the San Francisco Giants. It is out of here. I love that call by him when he's a Giants home run. To say that the Giants aren't going to be – I know the Dodgers are going to be fired up, but to say the Giants aren't going to be fired up to beat the Dodgers again, of course they will be.
Yeah, both teams will be. Yeah, the Dodgers, blew those games, obviously, Kenley Jansen in the ninth. But Dodgers have kicked ass here in San Francisco. I think they won 8 of 10 or 9 of 10. So we'll see if they can keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see Kuiper back, though. Kuiper with Kruko on that Giants television crew. Is battling cancer, was undergoing treatment and all that stuff, but looks like he's on the way back. So it's good to see one of the many good guys in the business for broadcasting in MLB. Houston and Seattle. We've got Lance McCullers and Chris the Reflexin for the Seattle Mariners here in this one. We've got Houston minus 160, road favorites, 8 the total. You talk about karma. Who's got more karma right now than Seattle Mariners? I mean, my gosh. I mean, this team's just finding ways right now. An incredible bounce-back win last night against the Houston Astros, down 7-0. I thought, well, flat spot. Maybe they're flat, dead as a doornail. They had a huge series against Oakland over the weekend, winning 3 of 4. Maybe they just didn't have it last night. Oh, they had it. They had it late to come all the way back and beat the Astros. And Seattle's a one-way team for me. I don't even care who's on the mound. And look, Flexen's been good at home. He's had a very good track record at home this year. Chris Flexen is a little bit worse, I guess, his last home start. He didn't exactly go smoothly through that one. But for the most part, he's been very, very good at home in this ballpark. And with Seattle, they've got that mojo right now. That dugout and that clubhouse is on fire right now. They're flying. They're excited. They've got all kinds of great positive confidence and mojo and momentum and vibes rolling through that dugout right now. That's not momentum I'm going against at a minus 160 price with the Houston Astros. And I like McCullers. There's a reason that he's favored by a good amount. He's been very good, continues to be very good. 3.04 ERA, but Flexen's not chopped liver. It's been good at home. Seattle or pass at this price. Simple as that. This Mariners magic is real right now. I ain't going against it. Connor, what's your thoughts here? Houston, Seattle.
Yeah, one thing I've Flexen at home. I bet him. He wins, and he's even been good on the road. I know his last start he didn't win that, but he's been really, really good the last 2 months. McCullers kind of got tagged a little bit his last start against Cleveland, but he's been consistent. All these starts, it's 1, 2, 2, 1. I think he pitches better. I lean towards the first 5 under 4.5 here. It's minus 120. I think it's tight early. One thing, Flexen's gotten hit a little bit by the Astros, just a bit. But other than that, I got to look at the first 5 under here, and I got to go Mariners too. I don't know. The price is just too big of a home dog. They keep winning. So that's it.
Yeah, and last night, by the way, was more proof the Astros bullpen has some issues. That's not a lockdown bullpen for Houston, and that could come back. They got to look at some relievers, at the trade deadline. But there's a lot of teams looking for relievers. Phillies are looking for relievers. Reds are looking for relievers. Blue Jays are still looking for relievers. So it's not easy to find them. There's a lot of demand, and I'm not sure there's a great amount of supply right now for quality relievers, at the trade deadline. Yeah, everyone's bullpen sucks, Brian Watson. That's the problem. There's all kinds of demand, but doesn't do you shit if there's no supply. Yeah, that's the thing. Where's the great arms? Like, where's the plethora of great bullpen arms right now for some of these teams to pick off at the trade deadline? I don't know. I don't see many good relievers anymore. Many relievers I can say, there's that guy I can rely on every single day or the majority of days. Look, and there's so many instances of guys that were once great relievers and once great closers and aren't anymore. Look at Chapman with the Yankees. Look at Kenley Jansen with the Dodgers. Just as two examples. I mean, that's the problem. Everybody needs bullpen relievers because there aren't enough good ones. That's why they need them. But the demand is outweighing the supply right now. That's the issue going around in Major League Baseball right now. Thanks to Crystal and I think who else was it? Gabe Martinez, I believe, mentioned in Duran, seeing them in concert. They're a guilty pleasure pop group from the 80s. I mean, yeah, you could get ripped for liking their music, but hey, once you hear it, it's you get dancing a little bit. Once you hear Rio and you hear A View to a Kill and you hear Girls on Film, and all those old Duran, A View to a Kill, New Moon on Monday. Is there something you should know? Or I mean, they had some good ones. Duran. Yeah, I know it's over Jose's head. He's doing that. Yeah, that was way before my time.
Everything's over
some of those hits. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Jose, what do you think here? Seattle and Houston.
This is the home of my say hey play of the day on Jimmy's show. I'm riding the Mariners momentum, and I took their team total over 3.5. Right now, plus 102 on Pinnacle. Lower numbers, so I felt good about it. Lance McCullers, good, but I think let's be honest. The Astros bullpen has been atrocious. We said it. They're a Craig Kimbrell destination. Absolutely, they'll be doing their damnedest to try to get him. But I think they're susceptible today. I think that Lance McCullers, he could give up one or two. Even if he does give up one or two, that's still a good start for him. I still feel pretty comfortable going in against the Astros bullpen. So I really like their team total over 3.5 today.
All right, good stuff. On we go now. Final game, Oakland Athletics, San Diego Padres. We've got James Caprillion and Chris Paddock, the pitching matchup here. San Diego -1, it looks like 55. Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah, -155 home favorites here. San Diego, 8.5 the total in this game. We've got our guy, Chris Paddock, Conor Mac's guy. Chris Paddock is a guy to fade usually when it comes to Conor Mac. Yeah, it's I'm not laying this price with him. I ain't doing that right now. It's been a little bit of a rough go, actually, of late for Paddock. You look at his overall ERA is, nothing at all that's anything to be proud of necessarily. 4.76 ERA, but the last few starts, I mean, it's been tough out of the All-Star break for Paddock here. 9 runs against the Nats. He got walloped in that game in just 2 innings, 4 runs, 5 hits against the Nationals in the return battle. He did pitch better against Atlanta. We'll see how he fares here. He does have better. Actually, his home numbers not as good this year. We're used to his home numbers at Petco being good, but not this year. 5.94 ERA for Paddock at home. On the flip side, you got James Caprillion for the A's, who has just gone about his business and been just rock steady. I mean, you go back to the start of June, 2-0-3, 2-3, 1-2-0, and shut out the Angels in 6 innings in his last start. In fact, that probably was his absolute best start. He has been just consistent, giving the Athletics a chance to win every game. And I think for Oakland, after losing 3 of 4 to Seattle on the weekend, they had the day off yesterday, chance to regather themselves, collect their breath, recharge their batteries, so to speak, and get back on track here. It's still a good team, but they realized we got to pick it up here. Sense of urgency now. Seattle's 1 game behind us for that second and final AL wildcard spot. We need to get our asses in gear. With Paddock struggling overall and at home at this price, and Oakland, I think after the day off, after getting kicked 3 out of 4 by Seattle, I like the spot for Oakland. I like the price for Oakland, and I'm going to take them here. First 5 and full game. Oakland Athletics. I think it's just too big of a price for Paddock right now. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Oakland, San Diego.
Yeah, you brought it up. My guy Paddock. There's no frickin' way at -150 I'd lay it with Paddock. I mean, there's just not value here. So I want value. And give me the A's. Yeah, plus 138 here. I also like it's all on Paddock here, and this I think Prillion will be good. He could give up a couple. We'll see how the new lineup shakes out too with the Padres, with the trade with Frazier and everything going on there. I think he'll get going. Maybe not the first game, but I like the first 5 under 4.5 here. But it all is on Paddock. I mean, as long as I think he doesn't blow up, I think the first 5 under here is a good look.
All right, first 5 under as well for Conor Mac, but also leaning toward that Oakland Athletics side. San Diego only split the 4 games against Miami over the week. This team is just they haven't fired on all cylinders right from the beginning of the season. They've been streaky as hell. They've had some great win streaks, and then they've had such mediocre play for extended parts. There's a reason why they're in the rears of both the Giants and the Dodgers, in the NL West, because they just haven't been consistent. They've had these crazy win streaks and these the ugly slumps as well. And San Diego's just playing, up and down mediocre baseball right now. Jose, what do you think here? A's, Padres.
Yeah, I love the A's here. I love the A's. I'm right there with you guys. Adam Frazier on the new squad will be interesting to see how they kind of shuffle, rejig all that. They got to keep everyone happy. We'll probably see Eric Hosmer traded. He's a large contract, so that'll be interesting to see how they'll get rid of that. Maybe they'll attach him to a prospect. But I'm on the A's here. My strategy, I was going to do it again, the first 5. Plus a half is minus 120. If that's a little expensive for you, just go minus a half. Plus 156, I like that a lot. Caprillion, in a normal year, well, I would say he's still an AL Roy contender, but I think Wander Franco will probably win it. He's the next guy. I think our boy Sharpie even said like he has a plus 1900 ticket from the preseason on him. So shout out to him and shout out to Caprillion. I'm on the A's today, and apparently Benjamin Mills telling us that Javi Baez is scratched tonight. So maybe we won't see our ejections tonight.
Yeah, you better be careful with the again closing in on the trade deadline. You're going to see a lot of this in the lead up. You're going to see guys scratched at the last second, and it's because of trade potential. So keep an eye on this. This is one of these times of the year where if you want to wait until you see starting lineups posted for these teams before betting some of these games, that's not the worst thing you could do. That's for sure, especially at this time of year. Great stuff. 220 live viewers. We appreciate it. Hit that like button one more time for us if you haven't already. A reminder, this show is now 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, Tuesdays through Fridays, the MLB Closing Time Show. And we're going to have some announcements for football scheduling and shows coming up. I'm bringing back one of my shows I did last year during football season. I'm excited for that as well. Lots of stuff coming up with football, so excited for that here on Pub Sports Radio. We'll get to best bets. We'll get to Jack of the Day in just a moment. But first, sponsors time, Manscaped and Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, check them out. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs and karaoke as well. Southtown 101, Manscaped, promo code Pub Sports. Get 20% off your purchase of the Lawnmower 4.0 or any Manscaped product using the promo code Pub Sports. MyBookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. Football season is just about here. Next week is the NFL Hall of Fame game, the first preseason game. CFL starts next week. College football just a few weeks after that. We are excited for it. We're going to have so much content here. So get yourself and get your accounts reloaded, get your finances in place, and do it at mybookie.ag. Check them out. Use the promo code PubSports, Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit as well. MyBookie.ag, promo code PubSports. All right, it is that time of the show as we do each and every day, following the sponsors. It is time for Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
All right, Jack of the Day, as Jose's working on his home run swing as we speak right now. Obviously, you could go with Vladdy, Teoscar, and Springer, the Blue Jays. They've hit Richards pretty hard. I wouldn't argue with that. Votto's had a home run against Alzolay. I wouldn't argue with that. Dozier against struggling on the road Dylan Cease. I wouldn't argue with that. Moncada, 2 jacks against Keller. I like that one quite a bit tonight. Moncada against Brad Keller. There are a couple of guys for the White Sox that have a homer against Maeda, Cabrera, and Scope. You could go in that direction. Donaldson against Alexander as well. Yastrzemski has a homer against Urias. You could go in that direction as well. So those are the ones I'm looking at for Jack of the Day. Connor, what do you got?
Yeah, it's low, but he owns him. Bryce Harper is plus 250. You mentioned Votto plus 400, Moncada plus 600. Mike Zunino, I don't have a line on him, but he's 2 for 5 with a couple of jacks off Montgomery. He's a guy I've hit a couple times this year. And I'm going to look out west. Turner's plus 500. And a guy, Chris Taylor's tearing it up. And they have good numbers off Webb. He's plus 750. Maybe Yaz for the Giants. He's plus 550 as well.
Yeah, Vegas Bruce, welcome in. It says, I remember Ian going on Las Vegas Sportsline radio show for years. I did. Weekly, or at least a couple of times a month back in the day with Dave Koken and Matt Humans. They did the show on ESPN radio back then. They were the hosts. Of course, Matt Humans left them for VSiN, and Koken hosted it on his own for a while. Now that show doesn't exist, but yeah, I remember those were good times. Those were good days. I'd come on NFL, I'd talk NHL, I'd talk CFL. Good times. Good radio show that was with Koken and Humans back in the day. And I think the only show that's on Las Vegas local radio on that ESPN Las Vegas channel that's still around to this day, that hasn't changed or they haven't gotten rid of, is Cofield and Company. I think everything else is pretty much changed on that station.
Yeah, Steve's the only one.
Yep,
he's the only. Yep.
Nope, that's the only one still standing from back in the day when I was guesting on there. Jose, what do you think? If not any Jack of the Day candidates, you can tell us what your best bet is.
Okay, so Jack of the Day, obviously Vladdy. I think that one's pretty layup. I was right there with you with Mike Zunino, and I'm going to go with Hunter Renfroe for the Red Sox today. Those were my big 3. Best bet of the day. That is a great, great question, Mr. Ian Cameron. And I think I'm going to go with Kansas City Royals, the first 5 team total, over 2.5 today, plus 114. I like that a lot. And I'll give a special shout out to the man we just mentioned, James Caprillion, the A's. I like them a lot today as well. First 5 plus, or sorry, minus a half for a plus money price at 150.
Up there we go. Yeah, good stuff there from Jose with his best bet. Conor Mac, best bet for you after a thrilling best bet walk-off from Andrew McCutchen last night for the Phillies. What do you got for an encore?
I think that was the first time all year I had like a walk-off or come from behind win for a best bet. I like a couple here late night. I talked about it. There was a ton of runs early. I'm on this Astros Mariners. First 5 under 4.5. McCullers flexing. It's minus 120. I also like the Dodgers as well. I just don't know if I want to go first 5 or full game. I like them both. But Astros Mariners, first 5 under 4.5.
Astros Mariners, first 5 under 4.5. Best bet for Conor Mac. Yeah, I mean, CFL's one of my, I'm looking forward to it. 6 of 8 winning seasons. 8 seasons I've bet CFL. 6 of them have been winning ones, and by a big margin. So we're hoping for more of the same this year. And yes, I won't announce it yet because I'm putting the final, touches on everything. But CFL on this channel, there will be something. Stay tuned. We'll probably say something about that in the next day or two. It'll be a weekly show, not every day, of course, just weekly. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. We'll hammer out the details. But yeah, there will be some CFL content with yours truly right here on Pub Sports Radio. And of course, the season starts next week, so we're looking forward to it. All right, best bet. Let's get to it. For me, I'm going to give you 2 today because I can't choose between them. One side and one total. The side is going to be Oakland. Athletics is a live dog tonight against San Diego. We're going to take Oakland plus 140, best bet against San Diego. That's one of the two best bets. And the other one is going to be a total, and it's going to be the White Sox and the Royals over 9.5. I think it's a value total there with C6 ERA on the road, Keller a 7 ERA at home, and the total only 9.5. We had a low-scoring game last night, and I often like that because sometimes you see that low-scoring game one night, you'll get the opposite the next night. I think you'll see the bats come alive a little bit there. White Sox, Royals over, and let's go with Oakland plus 140, a little double shot of best bets for me today on the
We're
MLB.
right there together, Ian. Me and you tonight.
Absolutely.
Today. We'll take like this.
I know, exactly, because you're on Oakland in the plus half a run, and you're taking the team total there with them, and I'm going with the full game over, and I'm going with Oakland as the
Jose,
side
never
there.
do that again.
Yeah.
Never do that
None of
again,
this
Jose.
will be repeated on here. Exactly. No question about that. All right, that's a wrap, guys. For our first.
While I have you guys, real quick,
Yes.
before we head out, I have to plug something real fast. Tonight on the Pub Sports Radio on the YouTube machine, me and my good friend Andrew, we're gonna do some watching of the baseball and some live betting today. Tonight, 8:00 Central, so 9 Eastern time. I don't do Western time, so you guys will have to figure that out, Connor. Sorry, but I think we'll do some live betting. We'll talk some MLB transaction news, races. It'll be a lot of fun time. So join us tonight, and maybe we'll make you some live winners.
Great stuff. So there we go. We haven't done a ton of live betting and live streaming during baseball this season. So if you're interested, get on that. If you're into that, tune in later tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. I know my time zones like the back of my hand, so I'm helping you out there in that regard. But great stuff. This is the end of our first closing time show at our new Tuesday to Friday time slot, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Thanks to everyone in the chat, 190 strong. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. For Conor Mac and for Jose Bouquett, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific for another edition of the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio.
We be pubbing.